Hello and welcome to Talking Football Tuesday edition, covering all the events from Germany and France. And with me here in the studio to do it are again Amit Leventhal, football analyst for Israel Hayom Daily, and I24 News Michael Friedman. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. Marseille handles the pressure in France. Borussia Dortmund is out of relegation zone in Germany. And Frank Ribery is the man for Bayern Munich. All this and much more coming up. Let's get started. We begin with Dortmund, who came into their home match against Hoffenheim from the 18th and last place in the Bundesliga. Dortmund lost 8 of their 13 matches in the German league ahead of this one, 3 of them coming in the home Westfalenstadion. Well, it didn't happen this time. 17 minutes into the match, Gundogan heads in, much to the relief of manager Jurgen Klopp, who already heard the rumors about his ability to take the team out of trouble. Dortmund wins 1-0, and you just gotta love their fans. Even after all the disappointments, they never stopped to cheer for their team. I mean, if there's a reason I like this team, it's the fans. 80,000 fans came in, cheer for their team. If this was anywhere else, they would tell the players to go home, the manager to go home. What do? Sing jingle bells. That's Dortmund.
Yeah, this is the team with the highest amount of fans of the stadium, actually. It's not the biggest in terms of capacity, but in terms of the number of fans, they have the most, more than Barcelona even, and of Manchester United. And, you know, they are so loyal, even when the team gets relegated. They show this amazing things, you know, so colorful, so cheering the team, and so positive. It's really lovely to see, and they were rewarded. You know, the team, you know, Dortmund are still, they miss so many opportunities. They are not efficient. They are unlike Atletico Madrid, who are very efficient, but the win is very important, and they can climb. It's not so far to go, you know, to the 4th or 3rd place. It's still possible.
And Michael, what the press likes about this team is the difference between the Bundesliga Dortmund and the Champions League one. Let's remember, they played in the Champions League final a year and a half ago. Yep. They're doing great there as opposed to what happens in Germany.
Yeah, so the German press headlines, they're saying, you know, Gundogan sparkles at Dortmund deliver a huge, you know, home win. And right from the start, the press were talking about the atmosphere is something unique. You'll never walk alone was being sung there. You know, how they suffer in the Bundesliga and they excel in the Champions League. The World Game said Borussia Dortmund aiming for Anderlecht win to top the group. Jurgen Klopp's looking for his team to really step up there. Defender Nevin Subotic said that our aim is not to just win the match, but to take our place in the last 16 as a group winners. And they want to prove that they can win this match and that they've turned the corner, that they're not, you know, the team that they show in the Bundesliga is not the team that's shown in the Champions League. And they're going to take the Champions League and step back and do well in the Bundesliga as well.
Absolutely. It's going to be very interesting to see them this week against Anderlecht. And while Dortmund was hoping to keep relegation zone behind, Bayern Munich wanted to make sure any rival at the top stays well behind. The Bavarians hosted Bayer Leverkusen in the Allianz Arena, and at least in the first half, they were not the best side on the pitch. The visitors had some chances of their own, including this one, which was cleared off the line following the defensive mishap and after Manuel Neuer was already beaten. Things did change after the break. 6 minutes into the second half, Frank Ribery does it. His 100th goal for Bayern Munich was all they needed. The champions win 1-0 to keep their 7-point gap at the top from second place Wolfsburg. And after 14 matches in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich is still undefeated. Ribery may be seen as trouble in France. Many believe that the national coach Didier Deschamps did not really want him in the team this past summer in Brazil for his string of social troubles in the past. But in Germany, he is an idol. His 100th goal is just another milestone of his very successful run with Bayern Munich. Michael Friedman and Danny Swibel with a story.
While Frank Ribery has been labeled a bad boy in France, he continues to be received as a hero in Germany. After leaving Marseille, the Frenchman came to Bayern Munich in 2007 in what was a club record fee of 25 million euros. The 31-year-old is described as a fast and tricky player who possesses great control with the ball. Ribery left his mark again as he grabbed his 100th goal for Bayern Munich with a volley against Bayer Leverkusen.
I believe it is always good if it happens like that. It is important that we won today. Leverkusen is a good team. It wasn't easy today. It is said that we didn't use our chances for a second goal in the second half. But okay, we got 3 points, and that's always important.
While the winger continues to flourish in Germany, he has had many problems off the field. During the 2010 World Cup, he was one of the players part of the revolt against manager Raymond Domenech, in which the players did not get off the bus. And then the player was involved with another scandal, as he used the services of an escort girl named Zaya while she was a minor. Many footballers possess a clean-cut image, but it appears Ribéry does not bestow that characteristic. However, despite his off-the-field antics, the Frenchman continues to reign in the Bundesliga and is well respected by his manager. While at Bayern, he won every major title you can win with 4 Bundesliga titles, 4 German Cups, as well as the Champions League title. Ribéry has been a major part of Bayern as he scored 100 goals in 288 games. His form for Bayern in the club's 2012-2013 treble-winning season saw him nominated alongside Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo on the 3-man shortlist for the 2013 FIFA Ballon d'Or. Although he is said to have turned his back on the French Federation after retiring from the national team, it is apparent he is loyal to his German side. What will be Ribéry's next landmark accomplishment for Bayern?
And Amit, we look at Ribéry, he's there for, I think, 7 years or 8th season. And, coaches came in, came out. Bayern was a good team back then. Now it's the best team in Europe. And he was there all throughout this transition period.
Yes, and last year I think it was that he was a nominee for the Ballon d'Or, and many people thought that he was, should have been awarded that because Bayern was the best in Europe and won the treble. It's funny, Ribéry, I think, when he finishes his career, will stay at Munich because he's feeling at home and he's speaking German, which is not, it's not something that every French player does. Yeah, it's not easy to learn. He has great relations within the club, even behind the scenes. Everybody likes him. And he's a role model for them. He and Robben together, they are, the main maybe attributes from the flanks that the typical Bayern game is based on them, on the 2 flanks where Ribéry and Robben plays. And it's lovely to watch players, getting so, like symbols in the club and not moving every year or 2 for another big challenge.
And Michael, I want to ask you, Ribéry is kind of a like other French players who excelled in other teams, Samir Nasri, Nicolas Anelka, that coaches don't like because they're social trouble for them. It's not a secret that Didier Deschamps could have done more this summer to have him in Brazil.
Yeah, so the way he handled being in France, the coaching staff wasn't very positive for him. But it's quite the opposite, as you see with Pep, who really shows he loves him, he's happy with him. He said that he's one of the best foreign players in history for the club. So if your manager is saying that, then there's definitely a lot of respect there.
There were very good foreign players in Bayern Munich in their history.
Tons of great foreign players, and the fact that he's looked at as one of the best by his manager, then the relationship, there had to have been problems with France, and it doesn't necessarily mean it was him. But Ribéry's delighted to have made this great accomplishment with 100 goals, and he said ultimately it was important that he got the 3 points. He's a team player. It's not about his individual record.
And so what do you think? You've said, Amit, you see him staying in Germany. He's loved there much more than in France.
Yeah, he's loved there much more, and he has great friends there as well in the team. David Alaba is his great friend. They play even on the same left flank together. He feels at home. He really enjoys life in Munich. It's, if you know to enjoy it, what's going on there, the beer and everything, then it's a good life.
Someone knows how to stop you.
Yes, and Ribéry, he has this issue, this personality issue in the national team. We know many times when there is a big star that is not so loved, maybe sometimes not calling him, give the other players opportunity to shine. We saw that with the young talents of France this World Cup. We saw it in other big national teams, even Israel without Yossi Benayoun suddenly starts to play well. So but in this big team with all the stars around, he's in the same level as them. and he's a great player, but Arjen Robben is still better.
Well, so Bayern Munich win, Borussia Dortmund win, and in other results from the Bundesliga, Borussia Mönchengladbach beat Hertha Berlin 3-2 at home. Wolfsburg continued to impress. They won 3-1 in Hanover. Schalke won 4-0 in Stuttgart. And look at the result from Frankfurt, where the home team beat Werder Bremen 5-2. Bayern Munich is first with 36 points, 7 more than Wolfsburg, who is second. Augsburg is third with 24 points, ahead of Schalke, Leverkusen, and Mönchengladbach, all with 23. On to France, where the league is almost halfway through, and so far Marseille shows character. The team from the southern coast handles the pressure. They let PSG only 24 hours at the top spot before reclaiming it. Marcelo Bielsa's team beat Metz 3-1 at the Stade Velodrome. Under Pierre Gignac is back to scoring. Ayew and Payet were also on target. I mean, let's be honest, we're here every week saying they're going to fall, they're going to fall. They're not falling, and it's almost halfway through, and the players, they need the winter break. It's not such a big squad.
Yeah, the Marseille are clinging on to the first spot, and we assume it will not be for long, because the gap was already 7 points, and now it's down to 2, and Paris is knocking on the door and winning week after week. Bielsa's work at Marseille with players that he didn't want, most of them, is great. One of his famous sayings was, when you're a leader, you don't talk a lot. And he's not talking too much. He's only doing his job. The team is very, very united and playing good. Moving forward to attack is doing very, very well. And I don't think they will, keep with the pace with PSG. But it's nice seeing them, and also Saint-Etienne, Lyon in the very far. Doing well.
And Michael, we're hearing compliments for Marseille coming from Paris, not something that happens every day.
Yeah, while PSG and Marseille rarely say anything positive about one another, the press captured something rare in French football. Thiago Motta basically is praising his biggest competition right now, and he said that Gignac gives so much to their team that they may not have a player at the same level as Ibra, but they're doing very well, and they showed it even against them, despite the fact that they won 2-0, that they are a true competitor. So it's something unique and not something that is seen too often.
I think PSG, they want to put the pressure on Marseille a little bit. And finally maybe they'll crack, but it's fun.
It's not happening.
It's nice to see, because in our predictions in the start of the season we thought that in mid-November Paris will already be focusing only on Europe, but they find it hard. Absolutely. And it's great to see.
We've mentioned the champions PSG, who were waiting for Marseille to sleep up. They did their job this time as they beat Nantes at home 2-1. The visitors took a surprising early lead, but then came Zlatan Ibrahimovic, of course, to score twice and give the champions the 3 points. And Amit, Zlatan is back to scoring. Champions League will now go off to winter break. The gap was 7, now it's 1. They're getting there.
Yes, and Zlatan coming back is very important, because what I heard is that he has problems with his heel. He had an injury for about 2 months, and since he came back, he's not 100% fit. But seeing him scoring 2 goals, one of them great free kick, by the way, against Nantes, is good. It was, he didn't score in the league since August. He hasn't scored until this last 2 weeks. So he's, the groove is back, and Paris. I think what's most improved in Paris is the center of defense with David Luiz and Thiago Silva. They are conceding less goals. They're looking more solid, and they have a big test in the Camp Nou in midweek in the Champions League.
If they want to be first in the group, absolutely. Now, in other results from the French League, Monaco won 2-0 in Toulouse. Bordeaux beat Lorient 3-2 at home. A stoppage time controversial penalty gave Lyon a 3-2 victory in Evian, and it was the same result in the match between Rennes and Guingamp. The tight race at the top continues. Marseille is first with 38 points, just 1 more than Paris Saint-Germain, who are second. Lyon is not far behind with 33 points, followed by Saint-Etienne with 32, and Bordeaux closes the top 5 list with 31 points. So, as we have said, a closer race than what we think. Marseille is still hanging up there. Lyon not far.
Yeah, I think seeing Lyon and Saint-Etienne as well, it's the two big rivals. And then last week, Saint-Etienne have beaten Lyon for the first time in about 20 years. And it's nice to see these teams. They are great, traditionally great clubs with many supporters and playing nice football with many talents. Lyon, they had a terrible start to the season. They were out of Europe in the qualifying, and it only served them well because they can focus on the league and get maybe to the Champions League next season.
Amit Leventhal, Michael Friedman, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's it for this show. We'll be back here again tomorrow with our daily sports magazine. Thank you for watching and have a great day.